In last week's episode, we shared some unsettling news about the less than stellar result of us trying to fix a water leak back in 2019. We're now in Redmond at Penpac, who specializes in host camper rebuilds, to continue our journey into making this camper even better than new.
So a lot of people had questions on where we thought it was leaking. So the biggest thing that we've seen when we took ours apart is this gutter right here. There's some screws on the top of that gutter that need to be sealed. That was one of the areas that I had missed, was sealing those across there. All this trim here, all of these screws, and along this edge on the very front needs to have caulk. That way you don't have to get a facelift for your camper. It is a good idea to back the screws out and then put a little dab of silicone or caulk, put the screw back in and just put a dab of caulk over the top of the screw head. That way you don't have this issue. Now, the way to tell if you have an issue with water coming in, where I found it, and this is somebody else's camper, so this isn't ours, but I'm going to show you where we found it, is we found it dripping from these screws here. So if you take one of these screws loose in here, on either side, you could do both sides if you want, and if you get water out of there, chances are you got a problem. So the other thing is this seal here traps water. Host has now changed this and added drain holes in here, but ours did not. So if you check this seal here and make sure that you have drain holes put in it, periodically spaced, and then make sure that there's some drain holes all along here so that you're not getting water in. So you'll see drain holes here and drain holes in the seal. In addition to the caulk line on this side, you also want to make sure that this has got a good caulk line. So you want to make sure that there's no cracks or anything in this caulk line on this side. Reason for that is because the gutter's coming down and rains right into this crack. You want to make sure the rain doesn't get in there as well. Yep, that's how we discovered ours. So, and what we've seen when we took the skin off of ours, that's where we seen the water damage, was up on that gutter rail where I thought I had it caulked, and then all the way around that trim. So for right now, we're doing some cutting of our first piece of fiberglass for the chin of the camper.
Well, it's been a few weeks since our last video on the camper. We are currently in week 6. In reality, a lot of the work that has been done on this camper since we talked to you was a lot of sanding, just sanding, along with other projects. They also have to fit our work in with all of the other campers that they're doing. So the biggest change that we have done, and hopefully you can see it behind us, is we have put the first piece of replacement fiberglass in. So we are quite excited. That means we're going to start looking like a camper again.
But it's probably not going to come down this time. Yeah.
Go ahead. What you say? Ready? Yeah. We good, Mike? We're good.
Don't let go.
Only when I say, don't let go!
He's such a cutie. Brandon, say good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, she is.
The recent struggle for us is we don't have the ability to dump our tanks and to get fresh water. Unfortunately, in Redmond, there isn't a really good place for somebody to come over here and dump our tanks. So we're having to use our portable pooper. Gary's lovely process of dumping. We do try to do this after everybody is gone. So if we do have some things to clean up, we can do that and let it dry out before the next morning. It's been a fun one. We even temporarily added a second valve here just to reduce as much excess that comes out of here while we're using our portable pooper. Yep, he's walking our pooper. We don't have a dog, so this is what we do. The joys of not having a camper. Luckily, this works. So this is the one time I'm happy that we had that thing, but otherwise I'd rather get rid of it. This kind of sucks too because we have to do it twice. We likely have a few more weeks to go before we're out of here, but again, we're making do. I've also given up entirely on trying to keep the inside of the camper clean. We've got like inches of dust everywhere, from the stuff they're working on our camper to the projects that we're doing inside to the painting and the sanding that's going on outside of our rig. It is just useless to even try. So once we get out of here, we'll probably have to take some time to go to maybe a campground to kind of reset ourselves. But I'm hoping in a few more weeks.
One of the things I want to dispel is why Host isn't helping us with this. We contacted Host to figure out what our options were, and they recommended either coming back to Oregon or going up to the dealer in Wisconsin, which was 6 hours away. We lived in Illinois, central Illinois, so it was a little bit hard to get up there. So 5 years later, we're now able to get around to getting this fixed. So the issue is on us. One of the things that's important for this is they work directly with Host. Dan Pennington used to work with Host. It's a good place to be right now. In my opinion, I'd rather pay for this right now rather than buy a new rig. Currently, we got all four sides are now on. We got everything affixed to the camper. We got this window in, and we're finishing up getting some of the trim work. We still have the nose cap to put on, but we have all of the panels in. We're working on getting the doors placed. We got the openings cut. The old door is sickle flexed in. And it is virtually impossible to get it off without damaging the framework. We tried, it's just not possible. This plastic here is a protective for the fiberglass. We needed to pull some of this down because we needed to start sealing this, and we also needed to get access to those corners, so you're going to see that.
So it's not, there's not a problem there, it's just
So
a plastic
it's not a problem.
covering.
It's just a plastic cover. And then we got this panel up this weekend. So we should be good to go. The cut here's a little bit funny because we're going to fit in a new nose cap. We're going to try. It's the latest and greatest version from Host. So we're going to see if that'll work on this unit. So, alrighty.
Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate you doing that.
And we'll catch you on our next journey.